Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, July 13th, 7:28 in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast. We're your hosts, McShane and Fitz. Fitz, I really wish we had something to talk about tonight.
I know. I was really disappointed that, A, that the doc was so small. That's what she said. B, that nothing exciting happened today. And that C, this coming week will probably be filled with absolutely no fun at all. No conspiracy theories, no pointing fingers, no civil war starting this week at all. So, it's a little disappointing.
I just wish everybody would up their game a little bit. That's all I'm looking for. Come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What world are we living in, bro?
Well, I woke up this morning, right? We had the doc ready on Wednesday. Yeah, at least through then. We had a good doc going. Then this morning we finished it off, and it was looking really fun. So we had this nice plan, and everything was good to go, and it's just gonna kick ass. And then all of a sudden, an assassination attempt on ex-President Trump's life in Pennsylvania. Hell of a way to derail things.
Yeah. The shame of it is really, truly, that we're not going to get to, 9/10 of the stock, because we have to address the news at hand, and that's fine. We're a news show. We're current events. And this gives us fodder for some stuff to possibly talk about next week if, again, nothing happens this week.
So this evening we had a assassination attempt on President Trump at one of his rallies in Pennsylvania. And the absolute shit show that has come from this has been ridiculous. We have conspiracy theories. The only thing we really have that is absolutely lock stock for sure is that they missed shooting him. He's pretty much fine. He has a pierced ear now. And he looks like an absolute badass.
Yeah, exactly. He came out of this thing. You honestly couldn't have asked for a better PR stunt, which there definitely is that angle out there of conspiracy theories, which we're gonna get to all of them, guys. We're gonna get to all of them. I know chat's probably gonna be just absolutely ablaze tonight, but we're gonna get to everything that we can. But that's definitely a thought out there that if you wanted to just put the final nail in the coffin as far as the election goes, you would make Trump even a bigger folk hero than he is already. And this is one way to do that, although a very risky way, if I might add.
It absolutely
They didn't just shoot an arm or a shoulder. Going for an ear at 400 yards, it wasn't even. Yeah, it was 400 yards. Yeah, I don't know.
It was like between 300 and 400 yards. We'll get to that though. We've got a lot, like we said, we've got a lot of content to get through. I don't know that we're going to be all Trump assassination tonight, but we are going to get this dropped tomorrow. We know that not everything is going to be totally accurate, just because there's so much speculation out there. So there's going to be a lot of allegedly talk in this one.
Right.
We are definitely going to try and get into everything we can though. And like you said, I mean, chat is up and ready for it. You guys have been amazing all day. Beard of Liberty, the voice of reason, loved it all day. Now, calling the other side of things, it was absolutely fantastic to watch. Definitely appreciated the temperament on a lot of this stuff.
Sorry, it was not 300 to 400 yards. It was 300 to 400 feet. That's right.
So it's even worse.
So, yeah, that's pretty close, dude. That's a football field, a little over a football field. Anyway, sorry. I wanted to add that in because when I said it, I was like, that sounds too far away because that actually is kind of a difficult shot, 300 yards.
Yeah.
But 300 feet, that's a whole different story. That's 100 yards, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And we will say that all of this does have some gravity to it because somebody did die. So
yeah.
the folks that was there for his rally did die in the shooting. Like we said, he's okay. Somebody did die though, and I think there was somebody else that might have been wounded in it. Shooter's dead apparently. So
And the shooter, yeah, right, right.
so still working on knowing who he is. He, she. I don't even know if they've identified anything there. But
No.
we will definitely see as the night goes on. So there may be some breaking news also. So caveat there. If we see anything, we'll definitely bring it up. But we should probably get into our beers.
Oh, yep, yep. I'm falling asleep at the switch here. I got so busy trying to do a great intro here that I did not open my beer. I have been remiss. Also, I have a partially wounded wing here tonight, so opening a beer is not the easiest thing. Um, I don't think I'm going to get too far into that story because I don't really there's not much to tell there. But I will just tell you that you know, overconfidence just because you've done something a thousand, 100,000, a million times, um, that's actually can be a detriment because you let your guard down. And I've done a lot of knife work. I know knives well. I've known knives since I was a kid. Throwing knives, switchblades, butterfly knives, all of it. I like knives. I like sharp things. And last night I got a new knife. I was getting in some reps with it because it has a little bit of a different locking mechanism, and I nearly sliced my finger off doing it. So I haven't bled that much in a long time. I'm okay. I don't want anybody to be worried out there. It's not an essential finger. I can still shoot. Um, but it was bad. It was bad. So typing is going to be a little weird tonight. So sorry, chat. Deal with my misspellings. And also, apparently, opening a can of beer is very difficult as well. Because apparently, I opened beer with that finger. That's what she said. All right. So this is from a brand new brewery to me. The name of the brewery is Von Ebert Brewing. They are apparently a Portland outfit. I've never heard of them. They have a warthog as their like mascot, I guess, which I kind of dig. It's a little, roll tide, but it's okay. I can dig it. We do have warthogs here in the state of Oregon, so it's all good. I don't know where Von Ebert comes from. I'm assuming it's a family name or something, but they actually they have an extensive lineup of beers, and none of them get past the color of, let's say, honey. They're all IPAs. They're all pilsners. You got a few lagers in there, but they're like light lagers. A couple of fruited tart ales. So I'm assuming I'm getting a lager. Oh, there is a Schwarzbier there. My bad. My bad. They do have a Schwarzbier, which is a black beer. That's what Schwarz is. Okay. Well, let's see what I got here. It poured. It didn't pour. I didn't get the Schwarzbier. It poured almost white. Um, it it smells fruity, so I'm guessing it's going to be one of their fruit tarted ales, of which there are two on the website. I don't know if this will be one of the two, but let's find out here.
So they do have two: "Eat Me Cake" and "Drink Me Potion." So it's looked like they've got after Alice in Wonderland.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm leaning towards the drink me potion, but I'm not getting any coriander in it, which they say there's coriander in that one. So I don't know. I'm really just getting a straight up sour here with some raspberry for sure.
And there's no color to it that's anything different.
No, nothing indicative there. Like I said, like a very light pour, almost like even lighter than Coors Light. It almost had a whiteness to it.
Hmm.
Solid head. So just flavor notes. Very tart, fruity, very pleasant. Low ABV. I'm gonna guess sub 6. I might even guess sub 5. I don't know. But nothing that's gonna put you on your butt. But really solid beer. Very well done. Whatever it is. I'm gonna go ahead and do the reveal here, just so we can move on with the show and keep things tight.
And that's a
And
can,
we
right?
have correct can. We have
Okay.
drink me potion. Woo woo!
Got it.
I am not getting the coriander in there at all, which is a shame because I'm a coriander fan. Maybe as this beer warms up, that'll come through. But a solid beer. I really well done, well done. I'm not going to say I'm an instant fan of these guys, but they're definitely going to get another day in court. So,
Nice.
uh, yeah. What are you drinking over there?
So I went into, first of all, shout out to Bryce over at Beer Barn. I went in today. Bryce listened to our show, and he really likes the fact that we're organized. Little does he know how disorganized we actually are.
Joke's on you, Bryce.
But he listened. He was talking about the EMP show, and which was funny because that
Oh,
was the one where you completely threw things off when you dropped that EMP business on me, and we went down that
yeah,
rabbit hole. So that was pretty awesome. So shout out to him.
yeah.
He knows his beers. Just a cool dude to talk to. Very fun guy. So thank you for the beer wisdom, and thank you for listening to the show.
Nice.
I have Flesh to Stone. Treated myself to some barley wine. It was a brutal week, so I'm going to roll heavy on both of these beers tonight. This is an English style
Okay.
barley wine aged in a combination of bourbon and peach brandy barrels.
Mm,
Peach barley wine.
that
And
sounds good.
yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. I have not seen this one. I'm a big fan of Bottle Logic. I am rolling heavy tonight. It's 11.5. The next one I haven't decided what I'm going to have yet, but it's going to be at least 13%. So we'll see how
Mm,
that goes.
mm.
But barley wines are not my typical style. I'm going to go ahead and give it a run though.
Do it. I'm
Beautiful
assuming the
beer.
whole the name of the beer is Flesh to Stone. That's are we talking about like a Medusa reference here?
I think it's a peach flesh down to the pit kind of a thing. That's where
Oh,
my mind went, but I don't know.
dude,
It
the
is a
way you said that
Gabfest
was
gold
so
medal winner.
the way you
What's
said
that?
that was so sexy. No, it was so sexy. Just
Flesh to
flesh down to the down to the pit.
pit.
That's
Down to the
that's
pit.
really sexy. If you're into that kind of thing, I'm just saying. Like, wow. Poetry, man. Poetry. If I could snap, I would. You do like the beatnik
Ooh,
thing? I got
ooh.
another hand here.
Oh, this is trouble.
All right. So you like it?
You do get some peach in there. You know peaches when they're on their the last couple of days of being good, like you're right at the very end.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It has that you can just kind of tell it's a little overripe, but it's still sweet, still fleshy, still has that peach. I mean, it still tastes good, but this is like the last day I got to eat it. Um,
Dude, I'm telling you, you are getting me so aroused over here. Keep
mm,
talking.
Such a fucking good beer. Wow. Damn. It has a lot of character um, that a brown would. It's not overpowering
Okay.
like a lot of barley wines. It does have a little bit of heat at the end. Yeah.
I mean, that 13%'s got to be, it's got to be, accounted for, right? I mean, it's present.
Yeah. They hide it though. They hide it pretty well.
Mm,
I'm pretty
mm.
impressed. It's not it really is about the flavor. It's not about the booze. And I would say I don't know if you're a big brandy guy. I like port. I like sherry. I like port sherry. Sorry. And I do like some brandy. It's definitely heavier on the brandy than it is the bourbon side. Good beer.
Okay. I'm
Really, really good beer.
I'm more of a fan of the cream sherries that we used to partake
Mm-hmm.
in back in the day.
Yep.
Brandy gets too like I've
A
said before,
little
I'm allergic
sweet.
to grapes. So
Yeah.
yeah, it gets sweet and then it goes right to my head and then I get blotchy and certain areas of my body get engorged. And it's not the parts you want. It's like my
Okay.
hands and my lips and my eyes start to shut because I'm allergic. So
Okay.
um
So
I
no brandy barrels for you then.
probably not. That would probably be a bad evening for me.
Okay. All right. I will not be setting this one up there. L to answer your question, it has a thick mouthfeel. And it's a warm, pleasant beer. Oh, good
I mean,
stuff.
how could it not? If you're eating a juicy peach,
Mm-hmm.
get in there,
Exactly.
Daddy. Get that face wet.
All up in it. All up in it.
Yeah. You know what? Before we get too heavy into the Trump stuff, we up there in the housekeeping, I do want to mention. Yeah, I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention our two folks who are legends in their own right, who passed away today, and I feel it's worth mentioning because they're definitely a part of our youth and young adult lives growing up. So anyway, I just want to make sure we hit that before we get too deep into the Trump stuff because it goes way deep.
At the beginning of the day, I had all this just eagerness to talk about Dr. Ruth
Yeah,
and how much she did for sexual health and relationships, and how awkward it was.
certain.
And she's about 3 feet tall,
Yeah, yeah,
and she's talking about boners and
and she knew her
anal, and
stuff. Yeah,
she was totally willing to go at it.
yeah.
And you kind of made you wonder. She's like got to be like a dominatrix in her free time. Like you kind of wondered like what else was going on there.
I Yeah, I think she got into some freaky shit. I do. I think she got her.
I
I
think
think she
she
got her freak
did.
on. Yeah.
I think she did. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was at some point in time it included Richard Simmons, who also died today.
Oh, Richard, dude, that little man, he lived a very tortured life, um, and not by his own doing. He just never really found his way. And then when he blew up in popularity, he got stalked every which way to sundown, and that's just a tough run for that little guy. So I feel like his might have been more of a release. I don't know. I don't know how his last few years have been, but I know
Yeah.
there was a chunk of time there where he was really he felt under the gun and like his life is in danger daily.
Yeah. He
So
totally did. It
yeah.
was definitely tough. But I will say he did his own thing, which was pretty rad.
Oh, for sure. And he was still to this day. I will die on this hill. Um, One of the funniest episodes of Whose Line Is It Anyway was when Richard Simmons was on there. I can still watch that, and I'm leaking from both ends when I watch that. I laugh so hard.
Oh,
It
it
is
was
one of
probably one of the best bits they've ever done.
ever. I mean, and he just played along with it so well. It was priceless. And in honor of him, when I found out that he passed today, I did go back and watch it, and
Yep.
it's no less funny, guys. So do yourself a favor, look it up on TikTok or Instagram or wherever, YouTube. It is just hilarious.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a good point too, Tabby. Shelley Duvall from The
Yes. Oh,
Shining,
great point.
and
Yes.
Olive Oil from Robin Williams
Right.
Popeye
Right.
fame. She died as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just, just
They
yeah,
always say it comes in threes. So I
it
guess
does.
Trump's
It
number
almost
couldn't
came
have
in
been up
fours.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah, it couldn't have been up today.
I do want to call attention to Horrible Designs. You guys need to go out to
Oh,
horribledesigns.com.
oh God. Yes.
Who anointed us with? Well, let's just go ahead and. I think he's. I think we can listen here.
Does he
see.
talk on this one?
Received from my Etsy shop. Did you know that there's an easy way to get 20% of Jesus saying, I saw that? How about this one? Tits out for Jesus. This idea came to me from the great guys at the Whiskey Hell podcast. If you ain't listening to them, you really should. This video is special as it was an actual order I received from my Etsy shop. Did you know that there's an easy way to get 20% off your next order? The directions are on the cover slip of every single order I send out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Thank you very much.
Really good quality.
Yeah,
His
fantastic.
Etsy. Yeah, I can't remember how we came across that, but yes, Tits Out for Jesus. I think we should have him do some Whiskey Hell mugs or something like that, and maybe we'll order them and get them out there.
Sorry. No. All I was going to say is I really hope someone took that to work and that's their work coffee mug. That's all I hope. I could you imagine sitting at a board meeting and someone takes a sip and that's what you see across the table, like tits out for Jesus? Oh
I
God,
I
so
kind of
good.
want to take it to my work, and you know how stuffy my work is.
Yes,
Seriously.
yes, I do. It's yeah, you got a lot of Mormons around there. Uh, I don't know who said that. It doesn't matter who said it. I believe it might have been Hefe. But that's the kind of quality content you're going to get here on this show. Is you're going to be able to take our quotes and make amazing merch out of it. That's what we like to do for our listenership out there. So, you're welcome.
So go to @horribledesign1 on X, or go to horribledesigns.com and check out his Etsy. Dude's funny, talented, and all of his stuff is quality. So, and I think Elle said she even got one of those. So that's pretty awesome.
Wait.
In chat we have tonight Beard of Liberty, Buttercup, Justin, Elle, Aaron. Aaron's name tonight is Leftists Can't Shoot. Thankfully, that is correct.
Yes, that's right.
Newest patron, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the
welcome,
the
Lisa.
Insiders Club. I hope you enjoy the time, and we aren't too much. I mean, you're here, so
yeah, and
obviously you're down with it, but chat could get a little crazy sometimes.
Oh, it can get gamey. Also, I just want to throw this back out there. If now that you're an inside member, and I'm trying to do air quotes with a swollen finger here, but if there's things you want to see on the show, stories that you find, things you want us to talk about, definitely throw those requests out there. We're definitely want to be a fan-based show and not just take the wheel and do what we want to do all the time. We do that 90% of the time, but we've had some requests here that we have not honored. I'm looking at you, Elle. Both Machine and I need to stay clothed during the show. But so some requests we can't honor, but others, just throw it out there. You never know. Definitely no judgment. You can throw anything out there you want, but just, sometimes you might have to say no too.
True. Gray's Tap Room, Tabby and Mike are in the house as well. So thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight. And honestly, a lot of the content that we're going to be discussing tonight is going to be some of the stuff that you guys pulled up. In fact, I think, Elle, you were the first one to drop in chat that Trump had been shot at. Now, from there, it turned into just a evolutionary 1 or 2 hour long fest of just dropping content in there and trying to figure out what was actually going on. Like we were saying, we know that Trump is fine. I mean, relatively fine. However fine you can be with, being shot at and getting hit in the ear and nearly dying. Let's call it what it is. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to probably come out and say, well, this isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, it only hit his ear. Well, it hit his fucking head. That's kind of a big deal. He's the president of the United States. Right. He has this security detail, which should be able to handle most everything that comes up. And as we're going to talk about later, there's some questionable stuff that happened. We're wondering how that could have happened.
Certainly.
But yeah, so he's okay. In fact, I think there was even talk that he was going to go to the UFC fight tonight, just to kind of stick it to the man that he wasn't.
With a bandaged up ear. I hope
so.
He does that. Yeah. Oh God.
Let's go ahead and really take a look at some of the different shots that we see here. This one is going to have some. You're going to be able to follow along. Let me see what station this is. This is going to be from RSBN, and I think that's Rebel. I think that's Rebel News. I'll have to look it up. But this is it'll be in our show notes. You guys will be able to look at it. But go ahead and listen. Now, I think one of the important things that we're going to get into eventually, Dylan or Fitz, when we look up here, this is a far away shot. You can see the snipers on top of the building that's right behind Trump.
Yeah, you can.
So I don't think that was noticed right off the bat when we very first started. I don't think anybody.
Well, no, we didn't even know what we were looking at.
Yeah, we've got big boom cranes that are holding up huge speaker systems so everybody can hear them. You've got probably 4,000 people there, 5,000 people. We're talking 100,000% or something compared to what Biden gets these days. So tons of people that are just in this one shot. And so Trump gets up there and he's talking for about 5 minutes, and then we'll kind of go and play this. So I think everybody could hear the gunshots.
The reports, yeah. Yep.
At first, and we were kind of going back and forth between each other in chat, and it was a very muffled shot. So it didn't sound like a high caliber rifle. I don't know. I'm not real versed in weaponry, so I couldn't tell you what was being shot. But I know Beard of Liberty was doing a lot of back work on that. I know you did a little bit too. We've even got a stereogram that we're going to go ahead and play here in a little bit from a gentleman who posted. We'll give him credit when we get up to that. But everybody was dumbfounded, and it was very, very awkward.
Yeah, and I agree, Beard. I think the first 3 shots were the shooter, and then the last 4 that I counted, I think, were Secret Service, kind of in quick succession. I think there was two Secret Service snipers up there. I think they both took 2 shots and kind of finished it off. But I think, I mean, it had to be not a high caliber bullet, but a very fast bullet, because he reacted almost before you heard the pop. I mean, so the shot got there before you heard the sound, which, that's a hypersonic bullet. And I guess the point of that is the intent was to kill, not to maim or wound. That's, you get a bullet moving that fast. That's meant to tear a big hole in a person. So, but I don't know as far as caliber and all that. I've not heard enough gunfire in my life to say that was definitely 22 or 308 or whatever. But I mean, those are common, 5.56, who knows? But I'm sure we'll get the ballistics, and we'll hear a lot more in the coming days here.
Here's the run-up to his speech and how it was interrupted, which it's important to note that most of the left-wing media, the CNN, MSNBCs, CBS, and USA Today, AP, everybody was saying it was an interruption or he fell. There really wasn't any talk about it being an actual assassination attempt. Right. The only one you're going to find that on was Fox, and then later ABC did come up with it, and then everybody kind of got on board with it. But at first, it was all about, let's just kind of see how we can twist this to make them look bad. Here's the run-up.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So looking back on it now, very, very different from the way I first took it after everything has kind of evolved.
Yeah. Yeah, and that last shot, you can hear an 8th shot about 3 seconds after the main shooting stops. I think the shooter probably wasn't quite down yet, and one of the snipers saw him either rolling over or maybe going back for his weapon and did a final kill shot. Because everything we've seen of the shooter, post mortem, he's obviously got some head wounds, at least one. So they lit him up pretty good. And I also, to go back to what you were saying about the the spin, there was a lot of TikTok and Instagram influencers that were coming out and saying, they were clearly on the liberal side of things, and maybe even like Harry Sisson and these literally paid by the White House, but they were trying to say that that if you know anything about guns, that's a paintball. That's not even a real gun. It was a paintball, and it's like, what? And so they're outing themselves by trying to spin it. You're outing yourself as absolutely knowing jack shit about anything. So they're easily dismissed. So, but if you see any of that bullshit kind of circulating around, it was clearly not a paintball. And those were actual rifle reports. And someone took a shot at former president, possible future President Trump. And And like we said, the next week is just going to be fantastic with what comes out from this.
Secret Service got up. I don't know. There's been talk that they were late. I couldn't tell you if they were late or not. I mean, it seems kind of strange because when you go and go back and look, and this is where we're going to get into the speculation, right? We don't have a good look at how everything broke down. But Secret Service got up there after he hit the deck, and they're trying to get him off the stage. At one point, he goes, "Let me get my shoes." He's not leaving yet. He's not done. Fuck this. Let me get my shoes. That's what he's worried about. And then he stands up, and he's got blood on his face. He looks like he just got into a fight with a tiger. And he just starts saying, "We will fight. We will fight. We will fight." And he's doing a fist pump in the air. Like, I'm not leaving. Fuck this.
Yeah.
It was the most epic, the shots, the photos that have come from this. I mean, if you want to immortalize somebody, it's epic. It's the most epic fuck you photos I have ever seen. This is the kind of shit that gets you on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
There's a picture taken. I'm sure all of you have seen it by now, but it's him, with his fist in the air, and there's a fucking American flag behind the Secret Service guy. And it looks like the Secret Service people are trying to drag him away. Like he wasn't going to fucking leave. Blood on his ear, blood on his face. God, what a great shot. From everything I heard, that picture was taken by a already Pulitzer Prize winning photographer who, when he heard the shots, he ran towards the president and then saw that the Secret Service had him and everything. So he just was sitting there waiting for that particular photograph to happen. And so as soon as Trump stood up and started wagging his fist, he got some pretty good shots there. But it's just an absolutely epic. If they aren't already printing T-shirts and fucking hats and patches and posters, I mean, then someone's failing in that campaign, because it is absolutely tremendous. What a great photo op, which again leads us to the point. It's very possible. I'm not saying plausible, but I'm saying the idea is out there that this was a setup to really immortalize Trump and to really seal the deal. I mean, if Biden ever had a whisper of a chance before today, it's gone. It's gone, because you've galvanized everybody who was already a supporter of Trump's. You have shifted a bunch of people who were like, I don't know. Wait, what the fuck? Why are you trying to kill him? I need to vote for him because they want him dead. So, right. I mean, all of the sort of people who were, jumping the line back and forth are going to be on his side now, because say what you want about the guy. You can hate him. You can despise him as a person, but I think we can all agree that no one should die because they have a different political view than you do. Period. Done.
That
End
really
of
is
conversation.
what it comes down to. That really is what it comes down to. And it was very, very telling that the president didn't come out and say anything for almost an hour and a half after it happened.
Right.
There were others that came out. You had, Polivier, the opposition party in Canada leader. He was even out before Biden was. You had Barack came out before Biden did. There's so much that goes into this, and we could spend all night probably getting into some of this, because up until today, Biden was steadfast not going to leave. And the Democrats were starting to regroup. Yeah, you had Barack went to Pelosi and say, hey, we need to bounce him out of there. Somebody leaned on George Clooney to come out and write an op-ed to get him out of the office. I mean, there was a ton of flack. Yeah. And it was seriously, the Democrats were seriously fragmenting, and he was refusing to go. And
they've been pulling all their funding too. Clooney pulled his $30 million, and then another $90 million in funds was frozen. So I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but to your point,
you're right.
Not only are they urging him to drop out, but financially they're saying we're not going to back you anymore.
So a conspiracy that I'm going to throw out there, just because something isn't right. Maybe that was his last chance. He played his last card to try and knock him off. And now that he's galvanized all of Trump's support, I mean, we talked about this last, but his chances for president went up to 68% today.
69. And I only remember that because because of the number. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what happens next week. Now, does Biden even bother staying in? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if he has any weight at all at this point. And he wouldn't even say it's an assassination. He refused to do that. I have my own opinions, and I'm not gonna say it until I have more information. I don't have all the details. Okay, you're right.
Well, I saw an unofficial, and I didn't post it because there were zero receipts to it. But it was we do have a Hefe sighting here, but I'm going to finish this sentence real quick. Hey,
Hefe.
It was an unofficial kind of guideline to how the press should handle this. That we don't know what happened yet, so don't confirm anything. We don't know that it was an assassination attempt, so don't use that kind of verbiage. We don't know if Trump was actually injured for sure. We haven't got the official doctor's report, even though we saw blood pouring down the side of his face. We don't know if he was hit or not. So it was just kind of all these guidelines of like, hey, don't commit to anything. And I don't know. So it was unofficial. It didn't come with any receipts, so I didn't post it to chat. Yeah. But I don't doubt that was a guideline that was set out there, because you look at CNN saying, well, he just fell down and that his speech was interrupted. No, someone took a shot at the motherfucker. Say that. Hefe, how's it going, dude?
It's going. I haven't been shot at today, so good.
Good for you.
That's a leg up.
Mark today's safe from an assassination, Hefe. Good job.
Yep.
I like it.
I have $40.50 in my box.
All right.
That is what she said.
Yeah. Reminds me of that joke, the old lady that goes to work as a prostitute. You heard that one?
Maybe.
No, go for
it. Go ahead. Yeah.
So the old couple falls in hard times, and the lady's like, well, I could go sell my body. And he's like, no. But finally, reluctantly, he gives in because they have no other options. So he goes and drops her off in a street corner, comes back the next morning, he picks her up. He goes, well, how'd you do? She said, I made $40.25. He says, who gave you the quarter? She said, all of them
did. Nice.
Yeah.
That's why people tune into Whiskey Hell right there.
Yes.
Right there.
That is hard hitting. That's amazing. Well done.
She was busy.
Yeah. Maybe like that line from True Lies, why is her head in his lap? Maybe she's sleepy. Oh shit. So not to get into any details, Hefe, but just to say you had a pretty eventful, but everything turned out great week. And I just wanted to, my first cheers of the evening is going to you and your family, and I'm glad for the good news. So cheers, man.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Shout out to PCH too. They're tearing shit up down there. Amazing.
They are like a world-class organization, and they do just such amazing work there. I'm right there with you. I've never heard anything bad about that hospital, not once.
Yeah, it's Phoenix Children's Hospital for the ones that aren't in the area here. They are amazing. Yep. So we'll see. They did some. I mean, put it in simplest terms, they drilled 5 holes in my daughter's head and burned her brain to prevent seizures from happening. Jesus. So, and she checked in at 5:30 Thursday morning and was back home Friday by 5 p.m. So
Jesus Christ, dude. Do you understand how profound? I mean, if you would have said those words 100 years ago, that would have meant that somebody somewhere was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not doable 100 years ago. Holy shit. That's incredible, man.
Yeah. So
it
was scary, but She's home recovering, so that's good.
Good.
That's huge news.
Awesome.
You know, for
And
all
you're able to go back to work today. That's. She has to be
Yeah.
doing really well. So know you would have been there.
and you're able to attend the show, which
Right.
is like,
Yeah. I mean,
I mean
that's the most important part. Here.
That is the most important thing of all this.
I mean, yeah. Everything else is kind of subtext,
Totally
you know?
secondary.
Yeah. Well, I guess it goes without saying, Hefe, there are some very strong urgings in chat for the farm report. Do we have a farm report tonight?
I have a farm report.
Okay.
Are we saving it to second gozies?
We can do it whenever. You guys want to do it now? We can rip this baby now.
You have time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, holy shit. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Farm report.
Real quickly, just to throw back to last week, listening to the show, when I said that iguanas are the chicken of the trees down there in Central America, it came across as a bad joke that fell flat with you guys. It wasn't a joke. That's really what they're called.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that. That's why I didn't laugh, because like it's a fact.
It just
Yeah.
it really sounded like an awful joke that I came up with. But yeah, that was a real. Just for everybody out there, that was real. This is real. This is real. Okay.
This is real.
So
I know. I got shot. Oh God. Anyway, go ahead.
petting zoos.
Perfect segue.
Are these heavy petting or is this light petting, like over the clothes?
Depends on the kid. It depends on the kid. Not going deep with the pet. Okay. Anyway, I mean, they're a great way. They're a great way to learn, about different animals and their behaviors and stuff like that. But there's really no way to guarantee that the animals are being treated well or getting the resources and care needed to be healthy, which opens the door to your kids getting sick by petting them, being around, feces and all that kind of stuff. And animals at petting zoo, a lot of times they're stressed out and they can get overwhelmed easily with a lot of people trying to get close to them and pet them. So I guess the theme here is don't go to petting zoo. That's your farm report. It was hastily put together on my first break. I wanted to have something, and I debated just going with nothing, but
Oh no! That was way better than nothing.
Okay.
And I just want to say, that's in my top 3 farm reports ever, because it didn't go anywhere, and yet I feel like a changed person. Yeah, I'm a changed person. I'm never going to a petting zoo. I'm never going to look at a petting zoo again.
Tabby wants to know, so you're saying a brothel is out?
I'm not saying that.
I mean, is that a zoo? Because, like, you don't just go there to look at them and pet them, on the surface. Like, you're looking for inside
I've never been to a petting zoo brothel.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike has a good point. A petting zoo in Saudi Arabia and a petting zoo are the same thing. Damn it. Thank you.
Speaking of brothels, Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, got released by the Raiders in this offseason. He's the one that had the the lifetime pass or whatever it was to.
Oh, right.
Yes.
To the Bunny Ranch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he still got that lifetime pass. Does that stick?
I'm sure. It's a lifetime.
Yeah.
Not a career time.
Right.
Not as long as your contract is there. It's lifetime. Which means he could be like an 85-year-old like major pervert still walking in there being like, "Hey, ladies, honor this shit.
Honor this right here.
Honor this wrinkly old python is ready for some action.
Mm, 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 mm.
Hey, speaking of wrinkly old pythons, when you come back from break, we need to talk about the Mirage closing in Vegas
Oh yeah.
because that was
Oh,
some
that's a
crazy
weird-
activity.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird thing that the Nevada Gaming Commission has on the books. That's weird. I think, I don't know. We can discuss it, but that got wacky.
I think it's
I can-
weird too.
I can tell you it's legit. We did it here.
Did you really? Well, let's
did.
talk about it when you come back for the next break.
Yeah.
When you come in for your next
Okay.
break, we'll get into it because I'm glad I didn't realize that you had done it. Now, all right, so we're gonna edge everybody. You guys will have to make sure that you're here. Fast forward if you need to when Hefe comes back. So
You know what shocked me without getting too into it? When it said the Mirage is closing after I think it said a 26-year history. I was like, what? It's only been around since '98.
That's it. Yeah.
no, 34 years. But that blew
34?
me away too. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
34 years. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's it.
That seems like way older than that.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
It does. But in all fairness, we didn't really start going to Vegas, regularly until what, 95?
Yeah, something like that.
So to
Well-
us, like that was an existing casino that had been there forever. Like the new ones to us were Paris and the Aladdin and all that bullshit.
Yeah, those are. Yeah, half those are gone now.
Yep.
I still my first trip to Vegas. No, it wasn't my first. It was my second trip to Vegas. My first one as a 21-year-old was when I went out to when I went to the parking lot at Tropicana and was greeted by
yeah.
someone in the parking lot.
Yep.
You remember that story?
Oh yeah, I remember that one
Oh.
well.
My gosh. I guess I can tell it.
I mean,
Quick.
you can tell it really quick. I'm surprised you got out of there alive. But
Well, yeah. So we all went there for football, and I checked in. So I left my bag in the car, and we all got to the room, and I went back out to the car to get my football bag, my whatever. And as I'm walking back in, this car pulls up next to me, and this really large black woman driving. She says, "Hey, you looking for a good time?" I was like, "Oh, I'm actually just heading to the room." She goes, "Do you like big titties?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, I mean, duh.
duh.
And then she pulled her shirt down and said, "Do you like these titties?" And I was scared as hell. I was super scared. 21-year-old, never seen anything like that before. And I said, I gotta go. And I started jogging to the hotel.
I mean, really though,
gotta
she
go.
did you a favor because she just kind of, she showed you her intentions up front.
Oh yeah,
And that was a dangerous situation. She may have. I mean, you could have been crushed.
right. Yeah, that could have been a different outcome for sure.
Yeah.
But she was looking for payment, right?
Oh, sure. I didn't get that far, but I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you survived.
I did. I made
You're
it.
good, man.
So, all right, I got to get back in.
All right.
All right,
enjoy.
man. Yep, we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit. It should be an hour.
All right. We'll see you.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a run at. Let's see here. There's a BBC article that I want to go ahead and play for everybody, and I kind of want to get into this one a little bit because my question is why was nobody taking pictures of this guy on the roof? So we're getting into the a little bit of speculation here. This is this is a BBC interview with a guy outside the security perimeter who claims he saw the shooter before he fired. Is absolutely wild. So
Full disclosure, the dude is, he's wearing a MAGA hat. He's clearly a Trump supporter. But the only reason I'm saying that is because his story is like super hyper believable. And he doesn't look like one of the plants that we see. Like, he doesn't look like one of the COVID victims we saw who was also fighting in Ukraine, who was also fighting in Israel. Like, he's not one of these people. This is a unique individual who he was there because he's a Trump supporter, clearly, and he saw some shit.
And he does look like one of those pencil trolls. Those trolls you stick on the end of a pencil.
Yeah, his hair's kind of... That's the first thing I saw. I was like, dude, I like that dude's hair. If I had red, super curly hair, that's how I would grow it. Like, kind of half fro.
And he cut the top of the ball cap out so that the fro could go. So that was really solid. I kind of like it.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so I'll fast forward a little bit in here, but we'll go and get into it.
I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
That's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. We saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. It was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it, but
sure.
It was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof.
Were you outside the security perimeter?
Yes, right there by that tree. We were outside the security perimeter. But my question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not on every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions, I think, that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
So we'll go and we'll stop it there.
Yeah.
I'm a little torn on that because he popped up way too easy. And this is because everything's speculative at this point. Everything's a goddamn conspiracy. So I really hate feeling like that. And I'm hoping over the next week things get cleared up. Maybe there's more video. I would have thought that if this was all happening on the roof, somebody would have been like, "Oh fuck, I want to get this on tape. This is weird. A guy's on a roof with a rifle."
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
None of that's
that was
popped
what
up
was
yet.
weird to me, is that, with everybody having basically a film studio in their pocket, why they weren't filming this guy ahead of time. And maybe they were. Maybe the cops confiscated their stuff. So two things. One, I can answer his question why Secret Service wasn't on every rooftop. And that's because, and this is well documented, Trump has been asking for a more robust Secret
Correct.
Service detail. He's been asking for more people, more scouting ahead of time. They know where he's going. They know what locations he's going to be at. But he's been either ignored or denied, straight up denied by the administration to give him a more robust. The Secret Service has like 7,800 employees or something. You couldn't just throw 100 at him and be like, here, be safe. So that's why the Secret Service wasn't taking care of it. But the underscore to that is, then how come local police department wasn't there? And if it's a small little shit town, which it looks like it was, then reach out to your nearest big city and say, look, we have a presidential candidate coming to a small farm here in our rural community. We don't have SWAT. We don't have the snipers to cover every angle. Can you help a brother out? And I'm telling you right now, every cop within 500 miles would have loved to be at that scene at that moment and be able to take the killing shot to this asshole. So you can't tell me that there was a lack of people that they couldn't have recruited. So that's all odd to me. Like, if you can't get Secret Service there, then call it the fucking National Guard if you have to. Like, Pennsylvania has a National Guard, yes? Like, get those guys out there. Have a presence. And I understand you don't want to go to a political rally and feel like you're in a prison. I get that too. But station these guys strategically. Have them on every rooftop within 2 square miles. We all saw a shooter. We know. These people can take shots from long distances.
At least have something up that's gonna, if you know you're gonna have rooftops open, you at least put something up that's gonna block the view. That's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
At least to the podium.
It was a clear shot. Yeah.
There was nothing. It was completely unobstructed.
Yeah. Well, and then
very, very strange. Very strange.
Just to kind of further, I guess, complicate things or to make it a little bit weirder. And I'm looking for the post now. But I found a post by this guy who, as you pointed out, is from some foreign journalist agency. But he said that there were eyewitnesses that saw this guy walking in a nearby field with a rifle on him, and no one stopped him.
I guess he's
there
just
were
hunting.
other people that
just in the middle of the day, just out for a walk
while Trump's around. And so that's also, that comes with no receipts. We don't have any verification on that yet. The guy's pretty legit. He's a decent amount of followers and some good legit people following him. So I tend to actually believe what he's saying, but that's another whole thing, is like, okay, so here we go. Let's go off on a tangent. Let's go off on a little bit of a conspiracy theory. But if you've got this guy walking around with a rifle and everybody ignores him, law enforcement chooses to ignore him, Secret Service chooses to ignore him, he's allowed to get on a roof, which, I'm sorry, in any American city, in any city on the planet, if you see somebody crawling up onto a roof with a rifle, let alone if a president's in town or not, someone's crawling on a roof with a rifle, that's cause for concern. I'm going to let somebody know. That's one of those, like, somebody left a suspicious bag over there in the airport. Like, that's one of those. Like, report it if you see it. Anyway, the guy gets all the way up on the roof. Then this leprechaun pops out and he's like, hey, there's a guy over there, and he's pointing at him, and they still don't do anything about it. That leads to some really severe and very concerning questions about the validity of not only our law enforcement, but our Secret Service, our election. I mean, if they're willing to let this guy take a shot at Trump, then how can we be convinced as citizens that this coming election is going to be legit in any way, shape, or form? Which I have questions from the last probably 6 elections, but that's just me as an individual. as a whole populace, as a community of Americans, I think most people want to believe that their vote counts and that there's legitimacy to the election. And at every turn, that confidence is being eroded. It's being illegitimized by things like this, that this man, I mean, why do we have Secret Service anyway? If you're not going to be able to see this dude in fucking khaki shorts crawling up onto a rooftop, walking around with a rifle. I don't know. It leads to some really serious questions. And again, I have no proof of any of this yet. But if it starts coming out this week,
Yes,
that indeed people saw this man walking around with a rifle nearby, saw him get up on the roof, law enforcement saw him bear crawling on a roof, man, we have some serious questions to figure out before fucking November.
All right. I got a joke for you. Ready?
Yeah.
Kimberly A. Cheadle, right? You got to stick with me. This is a long joke. The punchline is a great payoff, though, okay? Kimberly Cheadle is the 27th director of the U.S. Secret Service, sworn into office September 17, 2022. She's responsible for successfully executing the agency's integrated mission of protection and investigations by leading a diverse workforce composed of more than 7,800 special agents, uniformed division officers, technical law enforcement officers, and administrative professionals and technical personnel. Prior to her appointment, Ms. Cheadle served as senior director in global security at Pepsi Company. You're welcome.
That is a good joke. Holy shit, that's good. So wait, so she's, before this job, she was in charge of protecting Cheetos.
Yeah, pretty much. She was involved in developing risk management assessment and risk mitigation. She's basically an insurance person.
Dude, she's a rent-a-cop at a fucking Target. That's what they call those guys, right? Theft mitigation or whatever, like, or inventory mitigation specialist or something. They have a really
something like that
amazing name for them, when really all they are is just like rent-a-cops. Jesus Christ. How did she get that? Well, I guess, never mind. I fucking Sleepy Joe appointed her.
Let us not forget 5 days ago.
Oh, yeah, this is great too. Yeah.
Defiant Biden tells donors we're done talking about the debate. Biden delivered a forceful message in a private call with his National Finance Committee, which includes hundreds of top Democratic donors and bundlers. We need to move forward. Look, we have roughly 40 days till the convention, 120 days till the election. We can't waste any more time being distracted, Biden said in his private call with donors Monday, according to a recording obtained by Politico. I have one job, and this is to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye.
Yikes. Well, and
that's a good look.
And
that's a good look, huh?
To that point, you have your severe left-wing pundits who have, I mean, what have they been calling Trump? Hitler.
Yep.
Hitler. He's a Nazi. He has incited violence at every turn. So he's convinced these people who were most likely, unbalanced anyway, and he's ramping them up to the point, or they're being ramped up to the point that they're going to take action like this. It's funny. Once again, here we are, all the things that Trump was accused of doing on J6, that I saw it that day. I saw it with my own eyes. I know what happened, and I'm no Trump supporter, but I know what happened that day. He did not incite violence that day.
No.
But they're accusing him of that. And now what happens? It's the left that's committing violence. It's the left that's, trying to put him in prison and discredit him and accuse him of things that he never said or did. So it's like, hey, be afraid of this thing that this guy's going to do to you. And then in secret, we're going to go ahead and do those things to that guy. It's crazy.
Let us not forget Bernie Thompson, ranking member Bernie Thompson, Introduced legislation to ensure no Secret Service protection for convicted felons sentenced to prison. That happened April 19th.
Yeah.
That didn't age well,
that.
did it? And to all
No.
the assholes that don't like when I post something that's blatantly obvious, do your own fucking homework.
Amen.
Seriously.
Amen.
Calling me out for a fucking source when I post something that's pretty much a source, go suck it. Seriously.
It's verifiable. Yeah. Yeah, we don't take this lightly. Like, we don't just post shit just because we think it's funny. We're like, oh, hey, we better vet this and make sure that it's legit before we put anything out there. Particularly, I think I do that a little bit more just because, sometimes I drink too much and I post. But you, for the Whiskey Help account, you're very careful about what you put out there. I mean, we verify if you see a pair of breasts that McShane has put out there on video, we have verified that those are real breasts and
That's
that those are actually, they're
Goddamn
okay
right.
to look at. They've been checked, double checked and triple checked by us over
They're
and
Whiskey
over
Hell
and
approved.
over. They are Whiskey Hell approved. And so
We have
you're getting legit stuff from us.
Yeah,
always.
we have a triple redundancy. And Hefe actually signs off on it last. And he's
Right.
like the grade A, like he knows his Wagyu from his porterhouses. So
Oh yeah.
hey, before we move on and
He's
go to
a
beer
legit
two,
connoisseur. Yeah. Yes, play this clip. This is great because I remember this clip.
Yep, this is Tucker Carlson on Adam Carolla. Just
Yeah.
go ahead and this is just there to weave the story to where we are today.
He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times. And every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him.
I hear no lies there.
No, and he got lambasted for saying that. Like, people are like, "You are ridiculous. You're insane, absolutely crazy." And then here we are today. The last thing I'll say, and then we can break. And I think we can leave Trump alone when we come back in the second half of the show.
Yeah.
I think number one, we've covered what we know now. We've gone down some rabbit holes. Also, just keep your eyes and ears open, guys. We always say, think critically, act accordingly. That is going to be so essential in the next, 72 hours. Don't believe everything you see the first time you see it. Go find verification. Go and find its legitimacy. Find receipts. Find 1,000 people that are like, yeah, that's how it was, before you believe it, because you're going to hear a lot of wacky shit coming up. But the last thing I'll say too is, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I mean, really, I don't think I could mean this anymore with every fiber of my being. But for those of you out there who are actually upset that this person missed and didn't kill Trump, I would like you to lean down as far as you can and eat your own asshole until you die. Just start eating yourself from the ass in, and eventually you'll die, and that'll make me happy. Because if you're gonna say again that someone who has opposite political views than you needs to be killed for that, you shouldn't be part of this democracy, of this republic, of our community. And of course, I'm joking. I don't really want you to die either. But what the fuck? There are people out there who are literally losing their minds that this person missed and that they want him to try again. Someone needs to try again and do it right this time. Like, come on. It's this is one of those times, McShane, where I feel like it's another event that's only serving to divide us further. There's no unity here.
You're damn right.
If
and
you were, right.
We have the most divisive president that we have had in decades, generation possibly. This guy, from day one, he was not here to unite the country at all. He is here to keep us at odds. He's here to drive a wedge, and that is the whole point. And this is the kind of shit that leads to a civil war. So don't get baited. Don't take your eyes off the prize. Don't get baited by these people, because that's exactly what they fucking want. And do think critically. That's the important thing. Call bullshit when you see it. That's what we do. All right, let's go beer up.
Let's do it.
All right. Beer 2. Well, first, I mean, how did that first beer wrap up for you? Pretty good?
It really, it helps when you unmute. Okay, so yes, I really enjoyed the beer. I did, interestingly enough, I start to get the coriander there towards the end as it got almost unpleasantly warm. Like where a beer is past the point of it's starting to get too much room temperature, and you're like, okay, I gotta just kill this because I gotta get to the next beer. Right. But that's when I started tasting the coriander, so it was really kind of hidden down in there. But Tabby, way back in the beginning of the show, she's like, oh, maybe when it warms up it'll come out. Yeah, it did come out, but it had to get real warm. So kind of like my my manhood, I gotta get real hot and bothered before it comes out to play.
There you go.
I don't know why I had to bring that up. It's just once a show we got to talk about my my manhood, my genitalia. Yeah. Anyway, how about yours? How did that barley wine finish up? I'm really curious to see how it finished.
Yeah, consistently awesome. One of the best barley wines I've had. Really happy with it. It wasn't overpowering.
Nice.
A great sipper. I wish I wasn't. What I need to do better at, and I'll effort this, is to have a lower caliber beer at the beginning and then follow up with the hammer. I never do that well, and I'm definitely not doing that well tonight, because the next one is it's a crazy ass beer. But I really liked it. I really liked it, and I may have totally shot my wad with the first one. We'll have to see. Yeah, it's interesting. It was I liked it though. So the second one, never had this before. I don't think I've ever had a strong ale by Bottle Logic either. This is banana pudding strong ale.
Oh,
it's called Future Proof.
Okay.
Strong ale aged in bourbon barrels and finished with Madagascar vanilla, bananas, wafer cookies, and coconut. It is a 13%er. Not super viscous, but it definitely pours black. And it is such a dessert beer. Oh my God. You can really, yes, the vanilla wafers. That's exactly what it smells like. You definitely get that up front. Huh. Vanilla wafers and coconut. A little bit of banana in there.
Nice.
It's banana pudding. Son of a bitch.
Everyone likes a little banana in there,
Wow.
I was.
Oh, that's sweet. Ooh.
Too sweet?
That's
too sweet? Because sometimes, especially when they put banana in there, I don't know why, but it can get overwhelming.
Well, it's the wafers. That is overpowering. Oh, we'll have to see how that mellows out. Fuck. That's like, have you ever had a vanilla wafer before?
I work with children, so yeah.
Okay,
it's kind of like,
yeah.
It's like it's in my food pyramid. Like that's one of my food groups is vanilla wafers.
Okay. Have you ever stuck your head like really close to the box and inhaled it?
Again, it's one of my food groups. So I do that to wake up in the morning. Some people drink coffee. I snort vanilla wafers.
All right.
They're like crack.
Wow, this is woo. Okay, what do you got over there?
Well, interestingly enough, I went a dessert beer also. This is from one of my, I guess, sort of newer favorite breweries, but they've been around for a long time. But I've only been finding them around here for probably the last year or so. But this is from Fat Orange Cat Brewing, and this one is called Baker's Dozen Maple Edition. So this is a imperial stout with chili peppers, chocolate, cinnamon, vanilla, and maple syrup. And this is every bit of a 13.6% beer. So we're going. You inspired me.
Now
You're
it's a
rolling
party.
heavy. So I'm rolling heavy. It's funny you said that your beer poured kind of viscous, but not real thick.
Yeah.
This is like legitimately I just poured mud into my glass. I had to swirl I poured half of it and then it says to swirl the can. I swirled the can and like sludge came out. So I'm thinking they put real chocolate in this thing, real chunks of cinnamon, and maple syrup, and just let the thing sit for a couple of years. At least that's what I'm getting from the smell and the pour. The pour is just, I mean, even as I'm sort of moving the glass a little bit, you know how normal liquids sort of slosh? This just no, it just oozes. It's like
It's like, is this like to a throwback to a very different time? Is this like a Tar Baby kind of a thing?
You mean Mississippi Mud? Yeah, it's like that. It's Jesus Christ, man! Can't believe we just brought that up. One of the absolute funniest moments on air that you and I have ever had. I'm so glad that it will never air again. But
yeah,
yes,
that was Drunkard's
it's
called.
that thick,
it's
dude.
dead to the world. Okay, yeah, that's
It's
pretty
gone.
damn thick.
Yeah, thank God.
What was the name of it again?
This one is called. Sorry, this is from their Decadent series, and this is Baker's Dozen Maple Edition. So they must have a Baker's Dozen, I don't know, other editions. I'm guessing, I don't know what editions. I'm just reading the can.
That's like a pastry stout, an imperial pastry stout, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh my God. Oh.
I don't know what to do with that one.
Oh,
I feel like we both just got punched in the mouth.
No. This is a good thing. Nope.
Okay, walk them through it.
Okay, so really nice silk velvety mouthfeel. I mean, just smooth. And then you get the cinnamon, then the vanilla, then the chocolate, and then maple syrup just goes down your throat like all of the sex potions you've ever read about or seen in movies.
Oh.
It just goes down your throat, and immediately you go, okay, we're doing this.
Is that a sex beer?
It's a total sex beer. This is I am going to make
call
love
it?
to this thing. Call it.
We're calling
Do it.
Yes, your drought is over. Congratulations, brother.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's been a long time. It was a drought. I was in a major slump. So I'll tell you what I like most about this beer. Aside from the mouthfeel, which we all know, I like to play with it in my mouth a little bit with my tongue, side to side, up and down, whatever she likes. But
roll around.
But so the mouthfeel is like it's in the superior range. But what's incredible about this beer is there is zero booze, none. So it's dangerous in the sense you could drink 3 of these and not really know that you're drinking 13.6. Very dangerous, but oh my God, it's you know what it is? It's a cinnamon roll with like the maple syrup frosting on there. That's what this is. It's a cinnamon roll in a fucking glass, and Oh, it's
You're
been a
good.
while, and it feels so good, dude. I just feel like taking a nap right now. Oh,
Yeah, just curl up with it.
I'm spent. Yeah, I just want to cuddle with her now. I just want to cuddle. I mean, I want to be the big spoon, just in case, things might happen. Again, I'm in the position, but right now I just want to cuddle with maybe like, I'm palming a breast, just to let her know, like, I totally admire your body and your sensuality and your beauty, and I want to just hold you for now.
So
Maybe
you're kind of
that's
like
getting a little
saddling.
too.
You're the big spoon. She's the little spoon, and
Yep.
you're around the back, and you're holding on
Yep.
to her, just kind of nuzzling her neck.
Yeah, exactly. Smelling her hair, whispering sweet nothings, telling her she's the only one that I've ever been with and ever will be with. We all know that's a
next
lie, but
weekend.
that's okay. She likes the lie. She likes the lie. So I
As
tell
long
her
as she
to.
likes it, it's fine.
Oh,
Lisa had to
God.
turn
And
down
yes.
the volume so her husband didn't wonder what she's listening to. Yes,
Well, I
welcome.
mean, I think all of our husbands wonder what we're listening to. And yes, Tabby, to your point, I am going to propose probably tomorrow to this beer. My God, truly, it's a fantastic beer. I talked about Fat Orange Cat, and they do solid stuff. They just jumped up like 6 spots for me. This is a great beer.
I don't recall you having one on the show before. That's awesome.
Mm.
They're actually out of
Mhm.
Connecticut, right? I think it was East
Yeah,
Hampton,
they're
Connecticut.
back east. Yeah, yep. And I have no idea how these beers are ending up in Eugene, Oregon, but I'm happy for it. Just wow, what a great beer. Well done.
Awesome. Let's discuss European Union disinformation. Why is it important? Because it's going to end up happening here. You just watch.
Yeah.
Here's Michael
is a big one.
Schellenberger.
The totalitarian nightmare that we have been warning about is now happening. The European Union is at this moment forcing big tech companies to secretly engage in mass censorship. Google and Facebook are apparently going along with it, and only Elon Musk's X is resisting. A few hours ago, Musk said the European Commission offered X an illegal secret deal. If we quietly censored speech without telling anyone, they would not fine us. The other platforms accepted that deal, X did not. And so now the EU is preparing to punish X with massive fines, up to 6% of its total global revenue. I can't imagine a more egregious form of foreign interference in our domestic affairs than foreign governments demanding mass secret censorship for ideological and political reasons. Most terrifying of all is the apparently direct involvement of government intelligence and security agencies, as well as their intermediary organizations, in demanding censorship. This is all happening at the very same moment that those governments, including our own, are warning of yet another Russian disinformation campaign through spam accounts that hardly anybody ever sees. So don't be fooled by what's happening here. Governments and former intelligence officials in Europe, Australia, Israel, Brazil, and the Ukraine, as well as other nations, are not only demanding censorship, they're also often spreading their own disinformation. For example, the European Union claims that there is more false information on X than on other platforms, and more censorship would reduce it. Both claims are false. Only X has the open source community notes system, which allows for real-time corrections to false information. A recent study in JAMA, the Journal of American Medicine, found that 97.5% of the community notes were entirely accurate, 2% partially accurate, and just 0.5% inaccurate. It's not a perfect system, and of course, science is never standing still. So what appears accurate today might not be accurate in the future. But X's community notes uses more speech, not censorship, to provide context to controversial content. You can still agree or disagree with the original content, even with a community note attached. What the EU wants is for its own committees of experts, not community notes, to secretly decide what we can read and say online. This is unethical and unconstitutional. Another key part of the EU's disinformation is that researchers should have access to X's internal data, which Musk cut off when he bought Twitter. But those people who want the data aren't just researchers, they're censorship advocates, many of whom have very deep ties to the governments in general and intelligence agencies in particular. If the EU succeeds in censoring X, Facebook, Google, and every other major internet platform, then there is no free speech. There is only government-controlled speech. Now, many people rightly worry about the implications of a single person, Elon Musk, being all that stands between us and foreign governments' totalitarian censorship demands. I worry about that too. Our speech is inalienable. It's not something governments give to us or corporations. We need to fight back. While we should be grateful to Musk for standing up to the totalitarians in Europe, Brazil, and Australia, we must build a citizens' movement to fight back. There's 3 things that you can do. First, share this video to raise the alarm. Second, add your email to the list linked below so we can involve you in the future. And third, consider making a donation to build the free speech movement and urge Congress and other social media platforms to stand up for free speech against foreign interference. Thanks for listening.
So that's Michael Schellenberger. I really, really like that guy. Really good.
Yeah, same.
Independent journalist, very based. Great content, well thought out. He was part of the first Twitter files with Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss.
Yep.
Just solid, actual journalism. This is a big deal. This is a really fucking big deal.
Yeah, I like a few things. I like that we know about this because not only did Elon say no, because he could have just turned them down and been like, hey, we're not going to do that, fuck off. But after he did that, he then went on X on his own platform and put out a post like, hey, those guys over there, they just offered me a great deal of money to censor news and actual information, and I said no. And then Schellenberger, doing what a good journalist should, goes and does his fucking research, goes and finds receipts, and finds that that's actually what happened, and then puts out this really great video. I mean, very well spoken, very, pithy, concise, to the point, of just like, hey, Google and Facebook have already agreed to doing this. So basically, don't go to them for any kind of news because they're only going to give you what they have approved. X is literally, I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you're gonna be able to find the truth on there if you want to. And like he said, I really like that he talked about, community notes and that it's got a hugely successful high rating for people actually going and finding the truth out. And so, initially you might get some bullshit that's false and fake, but there's a community of us going, that's not okay. That's a lie. We're going to call you out on it. And so eventually you get to the truth. That's the only way we're going to make this work, is that all of us working together. None of us is as stupid as all of us, but to the flip side of that is when we all come together, we generally get to the correct answer. It goes back to, this is one of my tangents. Feel free to edit this later, but it goes back to the experiment that a social scientist ran, and this was back in the late 1800s. He would have people come to county fairs, and he would have them guess on a piece of paper how much this cow weighed. And it was different cows at every county fair. But he would have a minimum of 1,000 guesses. Some counties he would have way more, but minimum of 1,000 guesses. And then he would total it up. And you had little kids that would say it weighs 10 pounds, like ridiculous. And then you'd have other people that don't know what the fuck a cow weighs. And they'd be like, it weighs 6 tons. And so you had these outliers, but every single time when he took the aggregate average, the average of all of the answers, they got to within 1% of that cow's weight. They were very accurate. So if all of us, yes, the far leftists and yes, the far rightists, they're outliers, but they get evened out. They get tempered down. Their volume gets turned down by the fact that most of us are centrists and most of us are logical and most of us are going to give an answer that's pretty close to the truth.
And we're
so
going to try
all of us
to be accurate.
Right. And so I think all of us can get to the truth, but we just have to give it time and let the process work itself. And say what you want about Elon. I appreciate him for giving us a platform to do that. I mean, fucking A.
we've said it before, and we'll continue saying it. The truth's in the middle. It really is. I have a alt account that actually gets to write, if I ever had time to do it, write community notes, and I can go in and I can vote on it and stuff like that. It's a fantastic vehicle. It seriously is. It works exceptionally well. You get many, many different notes on there. You get some very biased ones. You get some very just fucking out there ones. You definitely get some folks in there who are trying to taint the pot. But at the end of the day, everybody gets to rate it. Everybody gets to go ahead and say, have their piece with it. And whether it stays on there or it gets refined a little bit, or, I mean, they'll even kick it out if it's not, if the wording, if somebody can't, put two sentences together, they'll kick that stuff out. So it's a fantastic way to go ahead and monitor what is the global village when it comes to information. It's actually very, very, it's a genius thing to use. I absolutely love it. And I love that this is out in the open too. It's important to know.
Yeah.
Did you, okay. So I think we talked about this. $20,000 was fined for CNews. France's popular conservative TV channel, CNews, has been fined $20,000 for not challenging a prominent economist who said man-made global warming is a lie, a scam in live broadcast. Why should they why should they be fined for that? It's his opinion.
Yeah. Right. And it wasn't $20,000, it was 20,000 euros, which is probably closer to $35,000. And so, if every guest on every morning show in every dumb fuck community in Europe, you start, I mean, these people are going to be like, oh, well, we can't have that guy on because we're going to get a $35,000 fine, a 20,000 euro fine for this guy. Cause who knows what he'll say? He'll say something pop off. And if we don't confront him on it, we're going to get the fine. I don't know any other way to say it, but if you don't see this as clear and blatant censorship, then you have your head under a rock and you need to seriously wake up or get out of the way, because the rest of us are moving forward with trying to find out the truth of things right now, trying to find out the best way to operate in our own lives, but also as a society and as a culture. And if you're somehow hindering that, or you don't want to believe that this is censorship or that you're being fed lies, get out the way, bitch. we got stuff to do. Just
to show that lawfare is not just isolated to the United States. The EU vote in France went completely for Le Pen, a very conservative government official. Right. Then what amounts to the House of Commons in France went completely the other direction. Well, over the weekend, she's now being looked at for election fraud.
Of course. Just like clockwork.
So, yeah. So it looks like it's the same stuff that Hillary was actually pegged for this week, which nobody's talking about. $6.5 million worth of misused election funds. Nobody's talking about this one.
Yep. For 2016.
Same kind of stuff.
Yeah, and no De Niro outside of her courthouse calling her a fucking liar and a Nazi. Nobody. I mean, you barely heard about the Hillary Clinton thing. In fact, I don't know if I didn't have the algorithm set, and the way that I have it, I would have never known about it. But yeah, she was fined a huge amount of money for the exact same thing they're trying to accuse Trump of. Exactly.
Le Pen. Yeah.
I mean, of Le Pen. Yeah, right. And the other side of this is, I don't know if you've seen that map of France and how it went for the election. And it's overwhelmingly the popular vote, the populist vote was for Le Pen and their party and her party.
In the EU, yep. The EU election
was
in completely
the EU.
A conservative vote. You're absolutely right.
But the actual, House of Parliament, whatever they call it in France, is almost exclusively, well, definitely the majority went to the liberals. And so it's like they're going to just castrate her at every turn. Everything she tries to get done is going to be completely undercut and, sweep the leg.
But what led to that was Macron deciding that, well, I'm going to go and dissolve government. Fuck it. Everybody's gone.
Right.
We're going to completely start over.
He did that. That's right.
Yep. He did that. And then 200 legislators quit overnight, just up and quit so that they could go and bring in patsies.
Yep.
And they completely took back the government from the direction the EU was going. It's all fucking shenanigans, and it's the same stuff that happens here.
It's shenanigans, but you know what? It's actually, if you get down to it, it's actually a coup.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It's a political coup, and what worries me about it, because I'm actually in favor of political coups when it's for the greater good of the people, and it's what the greater number of people want. That's when a political coup actually should happen,
but not shenanigans, right?
But yeah, well, right. So, but in this instance, this is shenanigans. They're playing games within the system. They're playing games for their own benefit, for their own, for putting forth their own issues and things that they care about and their own financial portfolios. And the populace gets left behind in this. So it's a political coup in the wrong way. And so it's like, I'm not against political coups. I'm against the elite turning the game against the people. That's when it's not okay. And that's what's happening.
Very first deal that came out was France. This left-wing legislature wants a 90% tax against anybody who makes over $400,000 a year.
90%. If you're
Can you imagine
making
that?
$400,000, $401,000, and they tax you 90%, you're left with $41,000 at the end of the year. 41 grand. I mean, check my math on that. I might be wrong. Hefe, I wish Hefe was here, but what the fuck? You are left with 1/10 of what you made. And 400 grand, that's a decent salary. 41 grand doesn't buy you a fucking a Volkswagen. There are Volkswagen, the Tiguan, I think, starts at like 60. What is happening? And here's why we're bringing this up on this show, because like, who cares about France? Who cares about the EU? Michael Schellenberger said it. Bet your ass that's coming here next. If our very livelihood is at stake here with politics, which, goddamn, dude, 15 years ago, you and I were anti-political. We didn't want anything to do with it because politics is stupid.
Leave me alone.
And it's
just leave me alone.
Right. It's a waste of time. And now it's like, if you don't get politically involved, if you don't go out there and make your voice heard, then you are consenting, essentially, to the tyranny. And it can't be allowed. We all have to rise up and speak against this. It's insanity. 90%. Jesus.
Biden confused Kamala for being Donald Trump this week. He also confused Zelensky for being Putin.
There's that great meme out there. Shit. Oh man, now I can't think of it. But Kamala's talking to Zelensky, and she's like,
Trump. All right.
She's like, yeah, Mr. Putin, and he's like, Mr. Trump. I mean, My God. He's gone. He's been gone, but he's really gone now.
Here's my receipts. Here we go.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin.
He freezes.
We're going to beat President Putin. And now I want.
For fuck's sake.
Oh, he's gonna beat President Putin. He's gonna beat him.
But
Too
wait,
late. Damage done.
Here's more. Oh, and this is his big boy. His big boy press conference.
Oh, this was his big boy conference. Yes, he put on his.
He hasn't done a legit press conference in like 8 months. Here was his big chance, Fitz.
He put on his pull-ups.
Here we go.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You fucking word salad, dude. I think the problem was he put on his Captain America pull-ups when really he should put on his Hulk pull-ups. And that's where the problem came in. Because if you're going to take a giant shit like that on the fucking stage, you need Hulk pull-ups, not
So
Captain America.
You're going to blame it on his underoos?
Yeah, exactly. You can't. The dump was too big. You needed Hulk.
Oh my gosh! Hey, Russian collusion came out this week. They're gonna mess with the election, and they're also gonna kill German arms manufacturers. That was a big one this week.
We're doing this again.
Oh, you're goddamn right. We are. We're running back the old playbook.
Yeah, we're living in a time loop, man. It's 2016 again. Russian collusion.
Yeah, I saw 70,000 Russians died in the the Ukraine war. I think it was the last week, maybe.
70,000.
70,000. Isn't that a big number?
That's a huge number.
Where are they hiding them?
I don't know.
Where?
I mean,
are we back to the mobile crematoriums that were at the very beginning?
Maybe, because I mean, I've heard some stories. I don't know. I guess this is a chance for a plug, but one of the podcasts I've been getting into lately is Sean Ryan's podcast. Sean Ryan was a Navy SEAL for a while. Did some shit. He fully admits, he was in some nasty stuff, assassinations type stuff. But then he went and worked for the CIA, became, a raging addict, and he says, his words, I was addicted to everything. Like it was alcohol as much as I could at night to sleep, with Ambien on top of it. And then when I'd wake up in the morning, I was doing coke and meth and everything else, any amphetamines I could do to get up and go do the job. And so this guy's seen some shit, right? I mean, he's clean and sober for like 6 years now. And the guests that he has on his podcast, because they all respect him as a special operator and as like a government spook, and he has everybody on this show. But he had this guy recently on there, and I can't remember his name, and so don't delegitimize me because of it. But this guy was telling a story that he was in Afghanistan, and I think he was a ranger, but it was he and a group of Marines went in and they cleared this village, and they killed a lot of people, but not thousands. He said maybe a couple hundred. And he said by like the second week, because they took this village and held it, by the second week the roads were muddy because of the bodies decomposing. Like all of their insides were like leaking into the streets, and it just became mud in the middle of a desert. He's like, this is a dry part of Afghanistan, but there was just so much fluids leaking into the streets. And so, and I don't mean to get graphic, but my point is, if you got 70,000 Russians dying in a week, all of that that's a lot of biomass that has to go somewhere. And to your point, Machine, why aren't we seeing that video, those pictures? Not that we want to see graphic stuff, but like, hey, there's so many dead, we don't know what to do with it type of stories. We're not seeing that. Not from the Russians, not from the Ukrainians. Hell, not even from our bullshit mass media. So what's happening? Is that just a number somebody made up and threw out? Or if there is that kind of death going on, why aren't we moving to find peace? Why are we allowing this to happen? Why are we funding it? That's insane.
I think it's one of the biggest.
Sorry, I was just going to say that's like half of Eugene, the city I live in. That's half of Eugene dead in a week. Half. Are you fucking kidding me?
They throw numbers on there and they add a few zeros and then they think that they've got something that's going to wow everybody. But nobody is buying it anymore. We all know it's money laundering. We all know that money is being sent over there so it goes into Zelensky's pocket or it comes back to Biden's pocket. It's all rubbish. And if you can look at something that happened today and see how the media treated an assassination attempt, it's not far-fetched that they're completely full of shit and giving us numbers that are exploded. Maybe there is 700 deaths. Okay, that's believable for a week, a month. Not 70,000.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not believable. It's exaggerated. It's falsified. It's absolute bullshit. And people eat this shit up.
I know.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Do.
Hey, an update we had last week, the Milwaukee radio. Well, no, actually. So one of the women who had the president on for interviews, we talked about this where they were given 8 questions and they're only allowed to pick 4 to talk to the president about. And we heard that came out last week that that was the setup. That was the Biden administration setup so that they're rigging the interviews. Well, one of them was actually fired this week because she whistleblowed it. So I'm sure there's going to be a nice big settlement there.
Oh yeah. That'll come back.
But it also came back with a Milwaukee radio network admits that the Biden camp went through and edited content to make sure that what he was saying was exactly what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not rigged. The media has nothing to do with it being rigged.
Right. This whole thing is just. Hey, incidentally, because I just looked it up, I was curious. If you had to guess, what do you think the total U.S. military deaths in the entirety of the Vietnam War was? How many U.S. soldiers do you think died in Vietnam for the entirety of the war? 10 years.
I think Nam was quite a bit. 125, 200,000?
Official records are 58,220 U.S. military fatal casualties in the Vietnam War. 58,000 in 10 years.
I was going to get 60,000.
Yeah.
F.A.
So how is Russia losing 70,000 a day in Ukraine right now, or a week? Get the fuck out of here. That's ridiculous numbers. Anyway, Hefe, welcome to the party. And when I say party, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. I am enjoying one of the best sex beers I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, dude. She's the girl of my dreams in every way. This is just such a good beer.
He's been deep throating the bottle for like the last 20 minutes. It's been awesome.
Oh. I've been tonguing it. That
is so hot.
Every once in a while, you hear this fapping sound, which is pretty amazing. In
Nice.
stereo, in my headset, it sounds
It's not
really
me.
crazy.
It's not me. Not me, and it's not going to be me in 5 minutes after I recover and rehydrate.
I could do you guys a solid, and I could record myself self-pleasuring, and that could be the new sex beer theme music, if you guys want.
I mean, I'll tell you, Tabby really has a major. She hates the current sex movies that we make. She's got a major thing against it.
Yeah.
But I've heard from other listeners that they really like it and they turn it up, especially for their husbands. And that goes out to our new listener tonight, Lisa. But seriously, I like it. I think it's very indicative of how I feel while I'm drinking the beer. But I'm open to Hefe, recording himself, and we'll just we'll give it a run. We'll see. We'll have our little testing groups and see how it tests.
we'll just have fun with it.
Just have fun
Hefe,
with it, right? Exactly.
use your phone during the week and tape it and then send it to us, and I'll put it into an audio file, and then we'll play it next week on the show, and everybody in chat can vote.
Hey, we're drunk right now, so let's just get that straight up first. I mean, Hefe's not, so, take what you will from that, but me and McShane are, so.
Oh.
All right, let's talk about the Mirage.
What is wrong with this? Yeah.
The Mirage in Las Vegas will shut down later this month, and it wants to break the bank before it closes. The Mirage is set to close on July 17th, but before that happens, it must give away $1.6 million. Nevada law requires the casino pay out that money because almost all of it is comprised of gamblers' losses. Starting today through Thursday, the Mirage will give away $200,000 in guaranteed winnings each day. Friday and Saturday, that jumps to $250,000, and on July 16th, $100,000 in cash will be handed out.
So you've gone through this, Hefe.
Yeah, we had on our Pie-Gow game, we had a progressive, and it cost $1 to play the progressive, and it was up to, I think, it wasn't 1.6 million. It wasn't anything crazy like that. It was like 170,000, something like that.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah, and so when we got rid of Pie-Gow, when we moved to the new building, actually I think we had Pie-Gow for a little while, but anyway, we got rid of the progressive. But you can't just dismiss that money. You have to give it away. So what we did, we just had hot seats. So like every Friday night or whatever for blackjack, we'd if you had a player's card, you have to have a player's card because that's how you got registered in the system. And it would randomly pick every hour, it would randomly pick a player, and they'd win like 200 or 400. And I think the most we gave away, like once a night, we'd give away 1,000 or something like that. Or on New Year's, it was like 2,000. But we'd slowly give it away like that, and that's how we gave it away because it was law. It was like federal or whatever law that you can't just absorb that money. You have to, as a progressive, you have to give it away. So that's what that's about. And my ex sister-in-law, two of them actually, but one I was speaking to about it. I sent her that video, and she said, she took the kind of negative approach, saying it's just a ploy to get more people in to make more money. Which, I mean, they are going to make more money off of more people playing, but they are going to give away that 1.6 that they have to.
Right.
So it'll be a little here and a little there, but they'll give it all away.
So I really dug the Mirage. I thought it was a neat little casino.
Yeah.
I really did.
Same.
So I'm actually bummed that it's going away, but apparently it's been absolutely crazy there. So they've had every homeless person that they could possibly find. Every scab in Vegas has been there, and they're not playing. They're just sitting down expecting to win money. So Mirage went out and said, hey, all the high rollers, we've got to get rid of 1.6 million. Come in and play everything, right? Doesn't matter. Slots, whatever table games have a progressive. I mean, they went apeshit on it to the point that there was actually a sign posted that the Mirage said, due to the dumbassery of people or homeless people, we are making sure that unless you are playing, we're going to throw you out of the casino. They had to put a sign up, and they actually used the word dumbassery, which was, I love that word.
That's great. That's now
they had to go that far to actually make that happen. It was absolutely fantastic. But this has really been a thing. It's actually really pretty interesting. They had police called because people were stealing machines and pushing people out of the way.
I guess at the end of the day, I'm glad that they have these sorts of rules, laws in place that they can't just, take people's money willy-nilly. Like they have to make it, it has to be taken fair and square. You have to implicitly or explicitly, give them permission to take your money. And I guess all this money, this 1.6 million, was taken implicitly. And so it was like, well, because it's like you said, Hefe, like it's because it's part of this deal intended to be given away at some point, and it just wasn't. We have to give it away now at some point. And so they're just making it happen. And I like that those laws are in place. I also think people are fucking idiots, and it's going to probably go to some high roller who already has 70 million in the bank, and he'll win 800 grand of that. But whatever.
What doesn't this tell you that they really, I mean, everybody already knows it, but that the casinos really do have control over who wins when and what?
You're goddamn right.
Yeah. I mean, to some degree, for sure.
Crossing fingers and hoping jackpots hit? I don't think so. I think they loosen the machines a little bit.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
I think you're absolutely right. You can just go and switch the winning on anytime you want.
Yeah, there was a girl that dealt here that was friends with one of the top slot bosses, I guess you could say.
Uh-huh.
And she told me that he got off work one night and he lost his whole paycheck playing slots. He doesn't know what's going to hit. I don't. I mean,
right.
I mean, somebody knows, but I guess he wasn't. He wasn't in that loop.
Doesn't go that low.
No, I guess not. But somebody got to know.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you guys get to see the nudist save the tourists this weekend in San Francisco?
Yes.
Oh.
What, dude? This is fucking wild footage. First of all, can I just say only in San Francisco? Second of all, the fact that, like, if you are in a way that you have to be saved by people who don't have any clothes on, I mean, you probably need to reevaluate some choices you made in your life. Like, how did I get here? Because what the fuck? Wild footage.
So I absolutely love this. So if you've been in San Francisco, first of all, San Francisco's sketchy, period, anymore. It used to be an amazing town. We've talked about this at length. Fitz goes there occasionally for training for Kung Fu. I haven't been back since my honeymoon. And when I was there, it was amazing. So many great places to eat, so many cool shops, great people, theater. Like, it was just a fantastic vibe. Everybody got along. Yeah, you had some weirdos here and there, but that's okay. That's cool.
Oh, you still felt safe.
You still felt safe. Okay, there might be somebody pooping around the corner, like on the street or something. Okay, well, it's only one guy. Now it's like every other corner you got somebody taking a dump. Anyway, for this was amazing. A pair of California nudists took the law into their bare hands as they rescued a tourist from a blowtorch-wielding madman in a full frontal fight caught on camera in San Francisco's tough Castro district. The Castro district is not tough, first of all.
Okay, which we all have a friend that lives down there.
Yes,
like
we
literally
do.
across the street from the Castro
Yes,
Theater.
we do. Yes, we
and
do.
Up until recently, that was a fairly safe place in San Francisco too.
Yes.
And now even that's degraded. So go ahead, continue.
It's an absolute fucking train wreck. I mean, you could go down to the cat. Everybody was like, it was like fucking cool. Everybody was doing their own thing. Everything was great. Pete Sephra and Lloyd Fishback were enjoying a totally naked walk through famously gay-friendly neighborhood on July 2nd when they encountered a crazy kind of pirate guy menacing a Brazilian tourist with a blowtorch.
Yikes.
My buddy Lloyd is a quiet, respectful guy. Sephra told the San Francisco Standard, but he didn't waste any time and nailed the guy with a right hook.
Oh, and he does. I mean, if you watch the footage,
is fantastic. The footage
he
is fantastic.
fucking hauls off and hit him. I mean, it's blindsided, but he fucking hits him buck naked. By the way, wearing his birthday suit, balls and dick and everything, like in front of God and everybody. And he fucking right hand just melees this guy. And somebody comes in beforehand and takes the torch, which I'm not sure who that guy is, because I feel like he's kind of the real hero. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's the real hero. He's like the guy, don't even put my name in this. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I don't want to,
I want nothing to do with this.
Don't. I don't want to have anything to do with this. Please just don't.
Hey, and so, all right. So let me ask you guys this. So you're the Brazilian tourist, right? And you're getting assaulted by this guy with a hand, like an acetylene fucking hand torch, right? Okay. And you're thinking, okay, if he comes at me with this thing, what do I do? And then two buck-ass naked men come up and they're there to help.
These are the best superheroes ever.
Do you exactly, like, is this naked man? Like, what's Captain Balls Out? Like, who are you guys?
Captain Balls Out needs to be one.
Holy shit.
And his partner Flappy.
I guess you just accept help how God presents it. I mean, not that I believe in that sort of thing, but like, hey, you guys are here to help. I'll take it.
So
instead
Hefe,
of angel wings, they had testicles. Sorry.
Hefe, given your history of nudism, have you ever encountered a homeless man with a blowtorch?
That's like rolling.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
I mean, I would put myself in a position to have to be saved if it was like an all-female nudist, group.
Oh no, that's a great point.
Oh,
that's a really great point. We definitely need to discuss that angle. Yeah.
Yeah. But
they're wearing shoes and baseball caps, so that was pretty nice. That was pretty sweet.
That's ridiculous.
A nice touch.
What 2 weeks ago we had the at the end of Pride Month, we had guys peeing on each other in a little kiddie pool in front of kids. What is going on with San Francisco?
Yeah.
How is this okay? Any of this?
Dude, and you can't even say like this is the Wild West or whatever. Like, there's no precedent for this other than maybe like Rome, 2 to 3 months before it collapsed, where there was this level of hedonism. But honestly, like, we don't have any historical precedent for naked men beating up a blowtorch wielding terrorist. Like, we just don't know what to do with that.
It's
which is why
it's kind of like Borderlands. It's like out of Borderlands.
Oh yeah, it totally is. Yes, it's exactly what it is. Hefe, quickly going back to your idea of the female nudists, I feel like in order to protect you, they'd have to like just jump on you, like smother you, right? Just like make a human shield, basically. One sit on my face, protect my face. Another one, sit on my crotchal area. You got to protect that.
Yes.
And then boobs and butts, just wherever else they'll fit. But I think those are the two main areas you want to protect. So you need to sit on them.
Yep. And then the more coverage, the better.
Right.
So.
Exactly. And if you're skinny, then I might need like 2 or 3 of you to jump. On that. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go on that note.
All right.
Perfect exit. Excellent.
Have a good night, sir.
See you guys.
All right, man. Later.
All right. Other things we learned this week: marriage is white supremacy, and so is being on time.
Right. No, those both.
I don't know why I didn't realize that before. I felt kind of bad I didn't know that.
Well, and I don't think we tackled this earlier in an earlier show, but there's also this concept of time blindness, where these people are being diagnosed with, the inability to tell time. And so employers they're like having to go to unemployment courts and in front of judges and stuff to defend the fact that they fired this person because they keep showing up 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours late to their shift because they have time blindness. But it's like, I have to run a fucking company. And so, like, for the needs of the program, for what I'm trying to do here, you're fired. If you have time blindness, like, I can't hire you. Yes, Americans with Disabilities Act or whatever, but I can't, like, go work on a, I don't know, at a fucking house cleaning business where it doesn't matter when you show up. But here, I need you to show up for your shift because we have certain things that happen at certain times of the day, and I need people. But this kind of goes along with that. Like we're just bending business to meet the needs of the employee instead of the other way around. Like the employee has to be like, yes, I'll work those hours and I'll show up on time and I agree to those things if you pay me this amount of money. Like that's the agreement.
Expecting people to be on time is part of white supremacy culture. Duke Medical School claims. Duke Medical School. If you have a doctor that went to Duke Medical School within the last 5 years, find a new doctor. Find a new fucking doctor.
100%.
My body doesn't shut down. I don't have a heart attack. I don't have issues that are based on a fucking clock. You need to fucking be there and be there on fucking time. When I need you to fucking do open heart surgery, you need to fucking do open heart surgery, not this fucking bullshit where you're just get to go ahead and show up whenever you fucking want to.
Amen. 911, what's your emergency? There's someone here to kill me. Okay, well, our officers right now are experiencing time blindness. So they might be there in the next 3 days. So just hold tight, okay? Get the fuck out of here.
Anybody who is black that is married is racist. It's white supremacy, Fitz.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh because it's so true. My God, I think all of us experience this level of racism basically
every
day,
goddamn
right?
day. You know?
Every day. God, it's so racist.
So there's a picture right now. This is from Nick Sorter's account. President Trump arrives in New Jersey on Trump Force One. And it has him walking down. I'm sorry. Whoever does his lighting, whoever sets this shit up is fucking amazing because the guy looks like
they need a raise.
Beast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they need a raise.
He honestly does. And
he's got
I'm not
American flag lit up behind him. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's so theatrical. It's so gladiator-esque. It's so it is absolutely, if you take the bread and circus approach to this, he is an absolute king. And he's just trotting down the stairs after being nearly assassinated.
Dude, he's Caesar.
He is a goddamn Caesar at this point. And I'm not saying that because I want him to be a Caesar, but this is the closest thing we're going to ever get.
Yeah. Well, and to his credit, and I just have to say this because he does make it down the entire flight of stairs without falling.
He did not fall.
So that's got to mean something.
Thomas Matthew Crooks was ID'd as the gunman who shot Trump during the PA rally.
He's 20.
So
he's
let
20
me
years
let
old.
me
20.
Can
you imagine? I didn't know my fucking ass from my foot when I was 20.
Yeah, but if you're but that isn't that the MO?
That's what I'm saying.
What ends up happening? It's the young, it's the youth. They're easily corruptible. Yep. They're easy to take in. They're easy to go ahead and push in a direction. What happened with the Nashville shooter? How old was she?
This isn't some This isn't some ex fucking Navy SEAL, Ranger. No. This is somebody who has no critical thinking skills at all, and gets MK Ultra'd, and now here you are trying to kill President Trump. No wonder he can't shoot. He's fucking 20.
He looks like he's short a chromosome too, but that's another story.
God damn it, dude! I was just about to take a drink of this sex beer. God damn it.
Here's I think Beard actually posted this earlier, so let's go to this. This is this is new video from This Is Breaking 911, shows Trump supporters pointing out shooter before gun broke out or before gunfire.
And that's a little bit. He's going down!
Stay over here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on,
dude.
There. A lot going on.
Yeah.
And I even saw a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, which is obviously racist. Sorry, go.
And no. I mean, the thing that stands out to me is like this is in a small rural farming community, in Pennsylvania, here in the United States. This is not Beirut. This is not fucking Israel. This is not Ukraine. There's live gunfire with tactical rifles taking place at a presidential nominee's rally. This is a political expression of ideas and thoughts and hopes and dreams for the future, and gunfire breaks out. Legit gunfire where people are trying to kill other people. That's profound to me. Yeah. This isn't a war zone. This is a farming community. And why every step possible wasn't taken to prevent something like this, I don't know. But there needs to be a lot of fucking questions asked from fucking Mrs. PepsiCo. Jesus Christ.
All right, we're not going to get to the guy jerking off on a lady's leg and running away. That's going to be out. The guy who drank beer from a woman's ass. We're not going to get to that one either. It's too bad. Hey, Boeing, the astronauts.
Good for him.
I mean, and to Mike's point, Mike, you asked me a question in chat the other day. Would I rather have, and this is for you guys who are not in the Patreon chat, and you should be, would I drink the beer from her ass or have somebody drink the beer from my ass? So did you know that we still have Boeing astronauts stuck in space?
Yes, I knew that. I thought you were going to answer the question, but
no,
I like answering
a
question with another question. Yeah, no, I like that. That's a double.
Was that Jay that asked me that?
I really respect that.
I'm sorry. I forgot it was Jay that asked me that.
Or Mike. We just assume.
I thought it was Mike that asked me, and I
we just assume every terrible question that gets asked is Mike from the Grace Tap Room. That's great. I think these poor people
are fucked.
Probably trapped in space. Yeah, if they're depending on Boeing to get up there and save them, I think it's more likely that the Archangel Michael comes down and rescues them. What are you hoping for here? We have airplanes, a technology that's been around since the 40s, that can't land properly, that can't take off properly, that can't stay properly pressurized, that catch on fire mid-flight. You really think they're going to be able to make a rocket ship to come rescue you? You're lucky you even got up there. Like, just take the win and just die a hero up in space, because ain't nobody coming for you, dude.
Well, and Elon already said, hey, we can go get them. That's what we're built for. I can go get them now. Can I just go get them? No? All right, cool. We'll leave them up there. They're only supposed to be up there for 8 days. They're up on like 30 at this point.
Yeah,
At
they're
what
a month
point
up
do they
there.
run
That's
out of food?
Yeah, and/or will to live. Like, I mean...
Just open up a hatch and just jump into the ether. Mike, I'm really sorry that I put you on blast there. I apologize.
Are you?
I am. I'm almost as sorry as Eric Adams unveiling trash cans for New York.
Trash cans. This is a technology, by the way, that every other American city has figured out. But New York is just coming to the realization that, hey, we might have a rat problem. We maybe should, might, kind of, maybe. Let's talk about trash cans.
There are only 2 types of Americans. Those who live in New York and those who wish they could.
This is so great. It is the first ever official New York City bin for trash pickup, specifically for residents. You saw the mayor wheeling his wheelie bin earlier this week at Gracie Mansion, and we wanted to get a look at it for ourselves, so we wheeled it right into our Eyewitness News studio. Joined now by Sanitation Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You brought one of these brand new containers.
Of course I did.
This is very unique, and this is the first time, the only specific residential NYC trash container.
This is the brand new NYC wheelie bin, which is going to be mandatory this fall for a lot of buildings in the city.
Let's talk about that. Who needs to get one of these?
Everyone from the single-family homeowner up to the person who owns the 9-unit building in the city. So every building 1 to 9 units will be required to put their trash out in a wheelie bin come November 12th. Order by October 1st for guaranteed delivery before the mandate takes effect.
Gotcha.
Bins.nyc.
Bins.nyc. Let's talk about some of the features. If you don't mind, Commissioner, hold in the lid and I'll demonstrate here as we put these bags of garbage in. Now, part of the big focus is trying to get rid of the rats, right? And this is a rat lock?
Yes, it is a lock to make the bin more rat resistant, but the rats are a big piece of it. But so are the look and feel of our streets. I mean, no one wants to walk on a street with big mounds and piles of oozing trash.
Right.
To say nothing, of course, of the rats.
Yeah, and also to make it more convenient for the sanitation workers. This bar here attaches to the truck, and then they can just tip it over into the truck and empty it out?
Exactly. We can go to mechanical tipping rather than individual bag throwing.
Cuts down on injuries, which is a big deal.
For sure.
Because a lot of the injuries are strains and pulls and all of that. Wonder if you don't get one of these bins by November 12th this year.
I recommend that everyone 1 to 9 unit buildings, that they all just comply and order these bins on time, because the cost of a ticket for failure to comply is the same price as the cost of the bin, about $50.
And $50, pretty proud of that price, because retail-wise, it's maybe triple sometimes?
We are very proud of the price. We worked really hard on that piece of it to make sure that it was New York affordable. It's what the mayor wanted.
You have got to be shitting me with this. This is 2024. They are just now realizing, number one, the fact that Mayor Adams clearly has never put a bag of trash into a trash bin. He dropped it in. You're asking to, what happens is that bag of trash goes in and all the air below it comes out rushing at you. And you basically have this vomitous, noxious gas that hits you in the face when you do that. But this is a brand new bin. There's clearly nothing in that trash bag other than, paper to weigh it down. Watch. That normally would have given you syphilis, at least. In your eyeballs, in your lips. You'd have gonorrhea. But no, he has never done that before in his life. But thirdly, I think I'm on my third point. How are they just now? I like how the guy was like, oh, it has this little steel bar on there so that the truck can pick it up by itself. So we reduce injuries. What? What are you talking about?
It's a safety.
What century are you living in?
$4 million on a study to come up with trash cans, Fitz. $4 million. That's legit. And he comes out to Jay-Z's New York. What?
Yeah.
He has to be. And does he really need a taped off area to put the can? Did he?
Oh, I love that it had a.
Is that hard?
Oh no, it had a stage marker on it. Like you hit your spot.
It's like he's biting.
You hit your mark. You hit your mark, or you're.
And look, did you see in the picture? Okay, so we've got another one here. Okay, look to the left of the podium, the fake little podium that he has there, that weak ass shit. With they have a weird mic below it too. I don't know what the hell that's for.
I mean,
they're so fucking high tech. Whose mansion are they in front of? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Is that Mayor Adams' house? Mansion?
Yeah, it very well could be.
Compound? Dare I say plantation? Sorry.
No, it's not a plantation.
It looks like it.
Well, all right, maybe it's I don't know. Maybe that's the way he swings. I have no idea. I don't know him that well. I know he's a prick. Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed? This is a tough one.
Oh, it's not tough. I'm not saying that the drink potion was bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this fat orange cat. I'm about 3/5 of the way through it. It's so, I don't want it to end. It's so good. It's like a nympho in a can. Like, the sex is great the first 3 times, but then when she's like, let's keep going, and you just think, I can't, and then you do, and it's that much better. It just keeps going.
You're like, I'm a champion. I didn't know I could do it. This is great.
I lived with that for 14 years, and there were some nights that were just beyond exhausting, but they were worth it. And this is one of those experiences. Like I'm in. Really well done. Great job, Fat Orange Cat, but also just pastry stouts. I'm sorry, they just get me every time. It's just a great family of beers, and if you haven't had one, go for it. Make sure the timing's right. Don't drive anywhere afterwards. Don't work out after you drink one. You know what I mean? But do have some quiet time with your sexual partner, because this could be a lot of fun. And or just go to bed because it's a 13.6%. But either way you slice it, great beer. How about you? Which one are you taking to bed?
Flesh to Stone, peach barley wine. Really enjoyed it. The peach, it really was the fruitiness, the peach base that really did it for me. Technically these were 2 fruit beers. The banana pudding was just too. It was just too sweet. It was just way too sweet for me, and I still actually haven't finished it. I don't hate it. Like, I'm not going to go out. I wouldn't get this again, but it's just way too sweet. The barley wine, which I don't typically like, this is probably one of my favorite barley wines I've had. I'm really happy with it. Really good stuff. So Bottle Logic doesn't do a bad beer. So I'm talking, I'm talking from high up the mountain here. This is like esoteric shit where I'm splitting hairs, honestly. Because any one of these beers is going to be really good, but this one, the peach barley one, was the real deal for me. So I dug it.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one I would have picked for you. Like if you were like, "Hey, bro, I don't know which one to pick. Who should I?" That's the one I would have gone with.
All right, follow us at whiskey_hell on X. You guys can find us anyplace else at Whiskey Hell. whiskeyhellpod.com. It's also the website. So check us out. Go to the Patreon. You guys can be in chat. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys crushed it tonight. You guys crushed it all fucking day.
Huge.
Keeping up with some major news. Love it. You guys always contribute to the show, but today especially, you uncorked it. You unleashed it. You guys brought some just phenomenal content. This show was as much yours as it was Whiskey Hell's.
Oh yeah,
McShane and Fitz.
The bar big
you guys
time.
made it Whiskey Hell, absolutely. So Beer to Liberty, Buttercup, L, Aaron, Lisa, Grace Taproom. That's Mike, Tabby, Justin. We missed Jay tonight. Tabby just bailed. What the hell? She just left.
Jay was in here for a little bit, wasn't he?
I didn't see Jay.
Oh, I thought he was here in the beginning.
No, Justin was here.
Oh, no, that was
definitely
Justin.
here.
That was Justin. Yeah, right. Okay. No Jay
so
tonight.
L, Buttercup. But yeah.
We miss anybody who's ever not here, but anybody who shows, we roll with it. And again, I know we've said it before. You guys make us better. Thanks for showing up.
Absolutely. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.